Oh my goodness, yes. So in today's video, I will be talking about my experience applying to graduate school for the first time. So a little background of my education. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology with the option of social work from Cal Poly Pomona. I graduated December 2017. I was able to walk with the class of 2017 in spring. And so I was able to come back to school starting September through December and finish my internship credits. So I did that, and I was able to go ahead and attain my bachelor's degree. At that time, when I graduated with my bachelor's, I was volunteering at a nonprofit. Later on, that nonprofit became my employer, so I'm super blessed and grateful for the opportunity to be able to work at that nonprofit and change lives. And so there are some circumstances that occurred to me, and circumstances that reflect my adversities, my adverse childhood experiences, ACEs for short, my mental health, so many things that I was going through. I decided to take care of myself. I decided to take care of my mental health and make a huge decision that I can go ahead and talk about in a different video. But because of those experiences and trauma that I went through, I decided not to apply to graduate school when I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona. So besides those adversities, I didn't really know much about graduate school. I knew it was a higher level than your bachelor's degree. I am the first to graduate high school and even attend a 4-year university. So I didn't really have no one to look up to within my family in regards to that. So I was kind of like leading the pack. And so there was a lot of talk, once it's graduation time, you have workshops going on about graduate school, how to apply, how to fund graduate school, like there's no FAFSA in graduate school, or all these myths and things like that. And of course it's intimidating. Like, you hear all these people like, yeah, I have a 4.5 GPA, like I have a 10.0 GPA, going to like these leagues. And I'm very how do I want to say it? So knowing that there's this GREs, like all these tests and things like that, I didn't do my research at that point, and so it's very intimidating, just the whole word graduate school. And it's not just like undergraduates, like applying to undergrad. It's much more in depth. And so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys more about how I applied to graduate school, and my the journey of what it is to apply to graduate school so far. Okay, so how did I decide to apply to Cal State Long Beach and Cal State Dominguez Hills? So I just took a huge step and told myself, you know what, Maria, you're capable, you're that, you got this, stop overthinking, do it now, like apply. Going to Cal Poly Pomona in October and being able to speak to my professor, to my freshman year advisor, to my internship advisor, it was just so motivating. And girl, you need to apply. And so he was saying, I thought you applied and things like that. And so he said, you know what, you need to try and apply, and just try in life, right? Try it in everything. Because if you're just there sitting and overthinking, like, well, I don't have like a 4.6 GPA, I don't have these other things that other people do. If you just sit there and talk to yourself in a very pessimistic way and you put yourself down, that's not gonna help, because you're being stuck there all the time. So he was like, go for it. You know what's the worst thing you can happen? They can say no, right? They can deny your application, they can say reapply next semester or whatever. And so it is what it is, and at least the outcome, because you decided to take that step and even apply. So that spoke to me. I'm like, you know what, yeah, it's intimidating. Graduate school is intimidating. It's like a very different, higher level than undergrad. And so I'm like, you know what, Maria, it's true, what he said is true. Just apply for it, and if it doesn't happen, okay, yeah, it's gonna be suck, and I'm just gonna hurt my soul. But you know what? I'm already preparing myself for the best, the worst. Like, it don't matter. I am proud of myself. I applaud myself. I'm freaking like you know, this, all the things that I've gone through. Like, I'm just fucking proud of myself. Okay, so you know what? I applied. I reached out to my professors. I got letters of recommendation. I was, you know, motivated by my boyfriend, motivated by my sister, motivated by my friends. And so, you know what? I did it. I applied. That's, you know, that's an accomplishment. It's accomplishment on its own. So, anyways, you know, I got things to prove. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be successful because I want it, not just because. So, as you can tell, I'm happy and proud of myself. I've gone through so many things these past 2 years, and so sorry. I am sorry if this is annoying, but it's naturally happening and I can't help it. And like, wow, I'm just so excited for what's to come. And y'all might not understand the root of where I'm coming from. I can't really speak about that yet because I am not ready to, but I am, you know, I am not going to let that bring me down. I'm just gonna, you know, be brave, keep pumping myself, keep hyping myself, and it's gonna be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Okay. A little quick breathing mindfulness activity to get my energy back, and I'm ready to roll. But before I continue, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, cheers. I honestly didn't know that was gonna happen, and so wow. Okay, I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this now. Back to my story. So I decided that 2019 was going to be the year that I was going to apply to graduate school. And I, like I said, I don't even know if I mentioned it already or not, but I stopped my application process in early in the year in 2018, and so 2019 came rolled in, and so, you know, I made my little list of goals that I wanted to accomplish that year. And so one of the goals was to apply to graduate school. I reached out to my professor in in June or July, and so I emailed her because I wanted to reconnect, and, you know, hoping that she would guide me this time around with the application process. And so I met with her in October, I believe, September, October. I went over to Cal Poly Pomona and I spoke to 3 influencers that I really cherish from Cal Poly Pomona. And so I spoke to them. You know, they were very motivational to me, and so I, you know, I left campus feeling really, really good. I actually went to Cal State Long Beach to attend an information meeting for the MSW program. And so, you know, when he was explaining the presentation in the beginning, he was talking about a case. So he was talking about a vignette. So when he was talking about like macro, meso, micro, the levels of systems, I was like, what the hell? Like, yes, I know this. He had a vignette about a student. He asked, he was basically asking us to analyze Johnny's situation and family and, you know, dynamics to locate and identify the role of a social worker. So when I was there, you know, my sister Nancy went with me to the information meeting, And so, you know, I had my notebook, and, you know, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. It just kind of like, you know, added more to my motivation to keep applying. So I was going to go to Cal State Dominguez Hills to go ahead and attend an info meeting, but I did not attend one. So both applications are very different. For Cal State Long Beach, you need a your official transcript, you need your resume, you need your personal statement, you need letters of recommendation. Your references need to complete a 6-page packet. And so what else? I think you have to apply on CSU Apply, I believe, and pay $70 for it. And so I was able to do all those, and I left my personal statement for the end. And so I was working on my personal statement. I was pumped. So my friend Anais, she's currently at Cal State Long Beach in the full-time MSW program. She helped me, you know, shape my essay. My boyfriend read it and reread it and reread it, and we made edits and edits. And so we were in our living room that night, and then we were just like, you know, he was just hyping me up, like, you got this. And so he was very motivating, and he had my back throughout this time. So once I completed my personal statement for Long Beach, whew, I was like, I was so proud of myself. Like, I'm gonna add this little picture that my boyfriend took of me that night. And so I compiled all my things, put it in this big packet, had to write on this envelope like the program that I wanted to go into, and either part-time or full-time. And so having that packet in my hands, I was like, holy shit, like, this is real. Like, Maria's gonna apply to graduate school. Like, holy shit. So that was Cal State Long Beach in a nutshell. And then Cal State Dominguez Hills was completely different. For them, I didn't really have to turn in like a very thick packet. All their application stuff was online. So when you apply to CSU Apply, they have these other tabs that you have to do. So I had to upload my resume onto that format. I had to upload my time management. I had to upload what else did I upload? My resume, my personal statement, and then my references is the only thing that I did not submit online. That's the one reference packet that I had to compile together and submit it. You could submit it either by mail or by handing it in person. And so my goal was to submit my applications in November before Thanksgiving break, because I know Long Beach is rolling admissions. And so I don't know if I said that concept correct. Basically what it means is that as when Cal State Long Beach receives your application, they'll go ahead and make a decision, and then you'll have a spot saved. And so let's say, I know the presenter really emphasized not to, I know the deadline is January 15th for Long Beach. And so he said, don't wait till the last minute, because at that point our spot's already taken. And so I know Cal State Long Beach is a very impacted program, so I was trying to get it in advance, but unfortunately I did not get it by my deadline. I actually submitted my application before Christmas. And so the same thing for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Their deadline was February 20th, I believe, but I did submit all my paperwork and online documents before Christmas time. And so once I submitted those applications, it felt great. Like I said, I was really proud of myself. It was just a very huge milestone for me, like me applying to graduate school. Like, I low-key thought that I wasn't gonna go through it. I thought my self-consciousness and my overthinking wasn't gonna, you know, at the end of the day, it was gonna be like, you can apply next fall, you know. And so no, I actually applied. And so now I keep checking my emails, because, you know, I know I shouldn't be doing that to myself, but I'm just excited, you know. Like, I'm gonna try to, like, you know, very hard and, you know, embrace whatever outcome I end up receiving in the next couple of months. And so I'm preparing myself for that. Like I said, I'm very proud of myself. A huge shout out to my boyfriend, because that Friday I was going into work, and so we were going to go to NorCal that weekend, I believe, if I'm correct. Yes. So he is the best. He's the MVP because he actually went. So I finished. So I finished completing all my applications and putting them in envelopes and everything Thursday night, and so he offered to submit my applications by hand to both campuses. So Tony drove to Cal State Long Beach and dropped off my application, and so I was so paranoid because I'm that person that wants to know, like, even personally, I want to do it. I want to hand it to that person to make sure it gets done, you know, like, this is huge. But Tony was able to do it. He went to Cal State Long Beach like at 9 in the morning and submitted my application. From there he drove to Cal State so from there he drove to Cal State Dominguez Hills, and so he dropped off my package on their campus. And so yeah, so Tony, you know, he was a big huge MVP. So thank you, babe. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, that's basically my first time applying to graduate school. Basically for Long Beach, what you do is you go through that portal, and so you input your information, and from there it gives you a status report. So in the beginning, I'm gonna put them right here. So in the beginning, it told me, oh, like, thank you for applying for the MSW program for fall 2020. We're gonna, you know, check your requirements and see if you're eligible for university status, because you do have to apply to the school itself. So if the school believes that you met the minimum eligibility criteria, they will go ahead and forward your application to the department that you applied for. So for master's, you only apply to that one program. You can't apply to, you have to apply to that one program. I mean, you can apply to different programs, but each program has their own requirements. So for the resume, when I first, you know, read like, oh, I'm gonna have to write a resume, well, I was like, you know what, that's gonna be super easy because I already have a resume, the one for my job and things like that. But once you get into the paperwork and you read the requirements for resume, they want you to add up your total hours for volunteer hours, for work hours, were they unpaid, were they paid, who are your supervisors. You know, they're very specific on what they want. Dominguez Hills, they asked that they wanted to know how I was going to financially survive, basically, because you know, for masters, you have to do a field placement job, and that job is basically an internship, and you have to do at least 16 hours per week, I believe. No, yeah, I think 16 hours per week, unpaid, you know, field internship. And so I'm a full-time employee right now, so when I get to my field job, I'm gonna have to end up becoming part-time because I have to have time to do my field work placement. And field work placement happens during the week, during business hours. So thankfully I asked Anaim, and so she was able to give me a little heads up. So I wrote this little paragraph, sent it to her. I'm like, does this make sense? Is this what they're looking for? And so she gave me the thumbs up and said, yeah, you're on the right path. So that's what I submitted. So Long Beach had 9 questions that you had to respond to, and so for that I was able to number the questions. So 1, answer it. 2, answer it. 3, answer it, you know. So I was able to do that. However, for Dominguez Hills, you couldn't really do that. They wanted an essay. They wanted the responses in an essay format. So yeah, like we'll see what happens. I'll for sure make a video of when I find out what my application status is at that point. Like I said, victories, whether I get in, whether I get accepted or not accepted, I'm still gonna applaud myself for taking a huge step. And just, if you know, if it comes down to it and I don't get accepted to the programs, you know, this is just a learning lesson, stepping stone. And so I'm gonna take what I've learned throughout this experience and, you know, reapply it to when I apply it the next time. It's gonna be much more different experience when I reapply again, if I end up reapplying. So I'm really excited. wish me luck, cross your fingers for me, just send me positive vibes. I'll keep you updated with the outcome. It's it's January 15. You know, I'll keep you all updated. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. You know, I'm new to this. If you have any tips that you want to give me to apply for my master's in social work, let me know in the comments down below. So shout out to y'all who are still watching my video up until this point, and you know, and you guys survived my crying. Like I said, I don't apologize for crying, but y'all are real ones for watching me. Alrighty, wish me luck.